and welcome to another segment of Life Changing Solutions Live with Angie Torres, your host. And today I have with me Katie Mumminger. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me in this amazing place and in this amazing show.
She is the founder
Yes.
of Zeedu Plus, and we're going to be talking about that. And the other thing that she specializes in, or her passion, is in emotional intelligence parenting. But before we go on, we have a video to show. So if you could please play that the video. Thank you. And that show, or that video, like, speaks volumes, because I think that's something that happens today. I, as a mom, I'm always concerned about my children and how much they're online and what they're doing online. And
you're not the only one.
Yeah, so that's what this is about, digital parenting, right?
Exactly. So one of the biggest fear, that they say that the biggest fear of most of the humans is about death and things like this. But today, actually, the fear of the parents of technology and of internet, I think it grows much more higher than any other kind of fears. And it's okay and it's normal, but it can take it in two ways. It's very, very much negative writings about and kind of willing to ban kids from technology and stop all this madness. And the other side is the people who try to educate themselves and also their peer parents what to do. Because fear, or when you're afraid until you don't know something. And the moment when you start knowing what's about it, then fear disappears, because you actually, it appears what is the problem, and you immediately can see solutions. And we are now at the stage where it's so much negativity. So this was actually why I decided, like, a few years ago, because I was searching for my child to read about how to let him on the internet, how to, introduce him to technology. And I could find only negative stuff. And I said, well, let's stop this. I'm anyway a very positive person. It has to be a positive side. Now, working with technology, enjoying all these live streams, phones, everything, we have to acknowledge that is the most wonderful thing that could happen to us. That we don't use it properly, that's not technology's fault.
Exactly. So what I'm hearing is that there's, like with everything, there's pros and cons. And so, yes, there's a lot of scary stuff out there for kids especially, but the internet and technology has such a tremendous amount of education and knowledge that you can really gain from it, facilitate your life, be able to, like as you said, like today, being able to reach thousands of miles. You're not from here, so I can imagine you're having
yes
conversations, video chats
all
with
the
people. So there's a great benefit to technology, but what I also hear you saying is learning how to use it and knowing how to, and we as parents also being aware of what's out there, so that way we can support our children with it.
Exactly. Because the first thing is that we have to understand technology is a tool and it's not a lifestyle. And first we have to put this in our head. So it's a tool which we can use it for good or bad. It's always up to how you use it, and there is hopefully most for good, and then it's not a lifestyle. So we have to kind of figure out, we are the generation of parents right now, whoever has kids, and the upcoming generations and kids, is how to use it like a tool, which is an amazing thing. So how we do this? By educating ourselves first and then transferring this to our children, because our children learn what we do. So that's very important. When parents come up to me and they have a baby like 11-month-old and he is like, looking on YouTube and working over there, because 11-month-old babies are really good at YouTubing and finding their already.
Wow.
And then they ask me, Katie, can you tell me what is the best time to introduce my child to technology? And I'm like, excuse me, your child is already introduced to technology. So this is the point that parents kind of lose it, and it's not their fault, it's just we never had this before, is that we give these tools to bribe our kids or to reward them or whatever, and then sometimes we take it back or we forgot. Now, I always tell the parents that our parents had to teach us how to go out in traffic. So you never let out your child in traffic without telling him about the red lines, green lines, that the car can hit you and things like this, would you? Would you not? So why do you give a child a tool, a more powerful tool than outside the road, which actually opens another dimension, and you give him a tool and you let him there alone, and then you don't tell him about how and what to do on this road.
And you actually bring up two really good points. One is that all of this, especially when it comes to our children, any education or anything that we introduce to our children, we should become educated in it ourselves. I think that's important. And the second one is, especially when it comes to technology, we hand them, we hand our kids our phones, we hand our kids, even the TV is a form of technology.
It is already today, yes.
But we don't teach them how to properly use it. So how does one reverse that? If, like, we already gave our kid, when he was 11 years old, a cell phone to watch YouTube in, and now he's 14 and we can't get him off.
Yes, that's the most frequent asked question. It is by joining them where they are now. Don't expect them that they will put down the phones, or don't expect results from taking their phones and hiding them. They will find a way. Now technology and internet is everywhere. They don't necessarily have to have their own tools. So you have to go and find, where are they now? What are the platforms? Join them there. Of course, most of parents look at me and, do you really think that my son or my daughter wants to be Facebook friend with me? Do you think that she will allow me to join the conversation? It's not about allowing. If you didn't never ask, you have to go and ask. And you will be surprised. Most of them want to be there. They want to have a cool mom or a cool dad who's on their social media, because children, there's such a kind of idea that most of teenagers use this tool and abuse it. It's not true. There's so much good stuff going on. But of course, like everything, what is news, it's like a little bit of negativity. So go and join them. Ask them, how can I communicate with you? Because they will not come back. They don't know the world before technology. They don't know how to communicate before technology. They are not bad kids. They are not non-communicating humans. They just communicate in another way, and you have to go and find them. Where are they? Join them and build up the trust. And what's the most important is that you have to kind of get to the point to get their trust, that in case anything happened, you are the first person who they are in touch with. Because if they come and open from the beginning, I'm not saying bad things happening, but we can stop it if we talk about it. Right. We can show it, yes, it happened, let's learn from it, what's the next step? Let's share this with our kids, let's talk about real things, because this generation doesn't like, the papa war, the mama wars, like, don't do that and don't do this. Show them, this can happen, this really happened, and I want you not to be in this situation. So let's build up a strategy, let's work together, let's meet somewhere on this internet and be together a family.
No, and I love that, and I think it's also a great way, like you said, meet them where they're at. And I think it's also really important to have that communication with them. I, for one, what I do, especially when I travel, I, was actually made fun of by a friend of mine that I have a Snapchat account, but I only use it with my kids. Yeah. And I use it with them when I'm like away, and that's my way of communicating with them and being able to check in with them. And I also make sure, and I'm with them, I'm friends with them on different platforms of social media, but I've also made it a point to honor their privacy, and what I mean by that is that I'm not on there just liking everything and making sure, and it's like, hey, when did you take this picture, or because I want them to be able to live comfortably and live their life without being afraid that mom's checking in on them.
Yes.
But I'm still there monitoring, and I'm not saying that if there is something that I've noticed that it's like, let me ask. I'll ask about it.
Exactly.
I don't make accusations. I don't just come at them and be like, hey, when, what.
You said the right word, ask. Telling to this generation it's useless and actually makes them very, very nervous. You have to ask them questions. They will answer. Of course, will they honest? Yes, will be. If you trust them and they trust you. So build trust and that will keep you from everything away and in safety.
And that is actually way much easier said than done. And that's why you have plenty of classes, which
Yes.
we'll talk about in the next segment. And I invite everyone back for the next segment so we can talk about the different classes that you offer in regards to technology and how parents can really support their kids in this generation, in this technology age. So hope to see you guys back in about 5 minutes. Bye.